He starts to realize that family requires stability. Oh, wait, I'm not stable because I'm erratic. I'm impulsive. I'm always chasing the next best thing. I'm always chasing highs and pleasures and temporary satisfactions.
Matt, we don't want a toxic man, to create a family with anymore. It's all love or no. We're not going to have continued your lineage. And my response was, yes. That's the deepest, most sacred boundary being drawn right now. Women are saying, if you can't love fully, honestly, and without control, your lineage ends here.
So, if your baby daddy prior to you having a baby said things to you like, I want you to be my child's mother, I want you to have my baby, we're going to be a family, he talked a good game, right? And then when you got pregnant or you had the child, he switched up. And you are sitting there like confused because you're like, well, what just happened? You asked for this. You manifested this. You created this situation. Let me tell you what happened. Come on, lean close. He's manic. He's manic, babe. Now, he's likely undiagnosed with something. And because I'm not a mental health specialist, I can't tell you what it is. But those are manic tendencies, right? When somebody, it's kind of like a child who talks up their fantasies. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to outer space and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And then this is going to happen. And then because children are not so cognizant of reality, right? Children tend to live in a lot of fantasy and an imagination, right? And so because they're not cognizant of reality, they don't understand that going to space is not just something you just magically do, right? It requires preparation and training and this and that and da-da-da-da-da. And so manic tendencies, especially when they're in this very erratic, impulsive energy, things sound good to people when they're in their mania, right? It sounds feasible. It sounds doable. And so when he comes down off that high, right? That mania starts to crash. And if he's manic depressive and he comes back into reality, right? He starts to realize that family requires stability. Oh, wait, I'm not stable because I'm erratic. I'm impulsive. I'm always chasing the next best thing. I'm always chasing highs and pleasures and temporary satisfactions, right? He realizes that children require consistency. Oh, wow, I'm not consistent. I'm not a consistent person because impulsive people, erratic people typically are not consistent, even with themselves. So please understand, y'all, again, I am not a mental health specialist. I'm not licensed in mental health, but just this is personal opinion and perspective. Typically, a lot of our brothers and men are walking around undiagnosed with issues. And so they get to spewing out all of this, selling you these fantasies, y'all. And then when reality hits, when the pregnancy comes, when the child is here, they realize, oh, this is not play time. This is not imaginary time. This is like real time.
I just want to point out something. I did a video a couple of days ago where it was an older man and he had just got out of the hospital, or he was in the hospital for getting like back surgery. His daughter brought his ex-wife there, her mother, who they hadn't been together in 10 years. And, just to visit him or whatever, because he was in the hospital recovering. And then he started on this like quest to like win her back or whatever. And it ain't never going to happen. But anyways, in the midst of that, one of the videos, he was saying something very, very much exactly what she's talking about. I'm telling y'all, this is a glimpse into what she was describing. Listen to what this exchange. Listen to the exchange.
You're just not my cup of tea.
But have some coffee then.
What kind of loyalty are you looking for?
That's a good question.
Trustworthy, somebody that's honest, genuine.
That's me.
I can laugh with.
Are you laughing now? That's good. That's me.
Yeah, somebody that's not crazy.
I took my medicine. I've been taking my medicine.
Has a good temperament, has a good heart.
Oh, that's good. Lord, she's naming me. Why? Just give me one reason why not.
I don't really want to hurt your feelings right now.
No,
but they don't know that other nutty side.
No, that nutty side, I wouldn't got medicine for it. I'm doing better now.
No, that's the part. Yeah.
I'm better. The doctor released me.
That nutty side, I got medicine for. I'm better now. I'm on my meds. I'm trying to tell you. Now, I gotta be careful, and I want to be very, very, very careful here. I'm not I'm not going I'm
I
not
don't have
excusing
what it takes to.
I'm not excusing any behaviors that men have. I'm not saying like, oh, we just crazy. Like, we don't get to plead insanity because it's a choice. I mean, we're choosing not to get help. We're choosing not to listen to the women. I don't care how manic you are, you're choosing not to listen. You know what I mean? When you're not manic, you can go get help, but you choose not to. So it is what it is. But I actually think that what she's saying has a lot of credence to it. Has a lot of credence to it. She laid that out perfectly. How when you have a kid, which you don't know as a man, you don't know what it means to have a child. You have no idea. You have no clue. You think you know. Then the kid comes, or the kid's on the way, and then the woman changes. You know, because she's having a kid, so she starts to change. How she treats you starts to change. The woman starts to prioritize things above you while she's pregnant. You know what I'm saying? This is not a bad thing. This is just human nature. She should. You should want her to. But the woman, the mother of the child, starts to prioritize things above y'all's relationship or you or whatever. You start to see that fairly quickly, right? Second trimester, she already, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't got the time to do this. I don't got like whatever, because she's getting ready to, the baby's almost on the way, right? So right there, men start to get a glimpse into like, uh-oh, this is what life is going to be like. And boom, damn, he's starting to stress because he thought he was going to be the center of attention forever. He thought he was going to be the only child. He really did, because men are delusional. We don't know what it means to have a child. We don't know. We don't know all the care it takes. We don't know all the attention it takes. We don't know, right? That is what happens a gang of times in a relationship, especially when women are having kids. And then what ends up happening further beyond that is the men abuse the children, the men abuse the women, and then the women are like, they leave the man, and then, you know what I mean? Like, and then those women that leave the men, they go out and tell other women what the men are doing in the relationships. They go tell the other women, they go, hey, that's the whole gossip thing. That's why men don't want women to gossip, right? The whole gossip thing. It's all, anti-gossiping campaigns, in Afghanistan right now. And they, all the time they try to shame women for all them whispers and shit like that be women protecting other women from men, right? So the women go out there and they start spreading the word. Hey, these men is manic. These men is crazy. They don't know what it takes to be a father. They don't know what it takes to be a husband. They start sounding the alarm. And then it leads us to this.
We don't want those belief systems in our families anymore. Matt, we don't want a toxic man to create a family with anymore. It's all love or no. We're not going to have continued your lineage. And my response was, yes. That's the deepest, most sacred boundary being drawn right now. Women are saying, if you can't love fully, honestly, and without control, your lineage ends here. No more birthing children into pain. No more raising sons who inherit broken models of masculinity. No more daughters learning to silence themselves. If the foundation isn't love, if it isn't truth, then it doesn't continue. Women aren't just choosing partners, they're choosing the future. This isn't rebellion, It's protection, it's restoration. It's saying we will not hand life to a system that feeds on it. Mm-hmm. Only those who can meet love's highest standard will be part of what comes next.
The women in Korea, the 4B, it's because we're not going to, that's the only thing we have is you're not going to have kids. You're not going to have access to us because we actually are free enough to draw the line and take back this narrative. We're not continuing to be with broken men.
Yes, that's real power.
We're not continuing broken humans.
What the 4B Moon in Korea is doing is revolutionary in the most grounded, ancient way. They're saying we will no longer give our bodies, our labor, or our lineage to a system that doesn't honor us. No marriage, no motherhood, no men, no dating, unless it's rooted in respect, reciprocity, and truth. And that's the ultimate boundary, because women have always been the gatekeepers of life. To say no more, that's not rejection. That's reclamation. That's what true freedom looks like. The ability to walk away, to opt out, to withhold creation, until the world is safe for what you create. It's not cold. It's not bitter. It's love finally directed inward first. And when enough women do that, the whole system shifts.
That was AI. That was a fucking robot. That was a fucking robot. I would love to hear a debate between that AI and a red pill, you know, a AI that's been red pilled. I would love it would get fucking eviscerated because that was beautiful. Like that almost brought tears in my eyes. Like I'm not even joking. That was crazy because it is exactly what it is, and that's really like the only power that the collective have, right? I mean, we could do violence too, but I mean beyond violence, right? You know, way better than violence. The real power that the working class, that the oppressed group, that the marginalized group of people have is labor. In this particular case, though, we're talking about labor like the birthing of children. Women shutting that factory down, that baby factory down, so that it can no longer feed capitalism and the patriarchy and all these other oppressive systems is really fucking up the system. And it is going to collapse the system at some point if enough women start, you know, if it reaches like critical mass, right? I don't know what the number is on that. Maybe it's 15%, maybe it's 20% more. Like, I don't fucking know. But once it hits that, you know, past that threshold, the whole system could definitely be upended strictly by women not participating in it. Now, I know that is really, really hard to do, to get that many women to buy into that. But I do think it's easier. I do think it's going to be easier to get more women to buy in to not having babies than it is to get men into fighting back against the patriarchy. But I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. As a man, it is still a huge part of our duty to stand up and challenge the patriarchy. So I don't care. Women, keep doing your thing. Keep not having babies. Keep telling these motherfuckers no. Keep being. Keep choosing the bear. Like, I'm all for that. Love is love. I'm a 4B sponsor. You know what I'm saying? I love it. All I'm saying though is for the men though, let's not pay attention to what the women are doing. I mean, let's work in conjunction with them. Let's support them when they need us, but let's not worry about what they're doing. Let's do our own thing. And our own thing is to reach out to as many men as possible and stop these motherfuckers in their tracks. Stop the men that are going to try to harm the 4B. Like, I look at the 4B and the women that are, you know, just naturally being like, yeah, I don't have any interest in having any babies with you motherfuckers. I look at them as like, I don't know if you guys ever seen those movies where like one person is like running and then there's another person like a sniper like up in the perch and they're just like picking everybody off while that one, you know, like covering the perch. Like, we're supposed to run cover for those women. That's how I look at us. Like, that's how I look at men. Men are supposed to run cover for the 4Bers, for the you know, the male divestors, for the, you know, the women who are just checking out of the system, you know, beyond working and, you know, and doing what they need to do to sustain themselves. We're supposed to be protecting those women. That's how I look at our role right now. Protect those women. Protect the women that are like, nope, I'm checking out. Because trust me, it's going to be met with resistance. It's like crazy things are on the way, right? And we've all heard this story. This is definitely the links in which they're willing to go to stop women from, you know, checking out of the system.
"30-year-old Adriana Smith was about 9 weeks pregnant when she started having bad headaches in February.
Enough to know that something was wrong.
April Newkirk says her daughter went to Northside Hospital for help.
They gave her some medication, but they didn't do any tests. They didn't do any CT scans. If they did, they would have caught it.
The next morning, Adriana's boyfriend noticed something was terribly wrong.
She was gasping for air in her sleep, gargling. More than likely it was blood. She was taken to Emory, Decatur, and then she was transferred here
to Emory University Hospital, where Adriana worked as an RN. Unfortunately, there was nothing doctors could do.
They did a CT scan, and she had blood clots all in her head. So they had asked me if they could do a procedure to relieve them, and I said yes. And then they called me back, and they said that they couldn't do it.
Doctors declared Adriana brain dead.
So I feel as if somebody dropped the ball at the hospitals, and her boyfriend asked, please keep her. If she was kept at the hospital, we wouldn't be here.
Because of Georgia's heartbeat bill, which bans abortions after a fetal heartbeat is detected, her family says they weren't given any say in what happens next.
It's torture for me. I come here and I see my daughter breathing by the ventilator, but she's not there. And I'm touching her. And she has a son who I bring to see her.
Now, 21 weeks pregnant, her baby's health uncertain.
She's pregnant with my grandson, but my grandson may be blind, may not be able to walk, wheelchair bound. We don't know if he'll live once she has him.
A situation she says no one should be forced into.
It should have been left up to the family because I'm in my 50s, her dad is in his 50s, so we're going to have the responsibility with her partner to raise her sons, you know? And I'm not saying that we would have chose to terminate her pregnancy. What I'm saying is we should have had a choice. We should have had a choice.
Absolutely. This story right here is it's a sign of the times. It's a sign of the times. I mean, a few things. First and foremost, the malpractice, right? You know, in typical fashion, a black woman says that she's in pain. You'll be okay. You're a black woman. Sends her home. She damn near dies in her sleep. You know, and then the experimentation part of it, which is what's going on right now. To me, this is experimental. To me, it's unprecedented. Right. You know, Henrietta Lacks scenario all over again. It's disgusting. Like it does, but man, I'm sorry. That story is not even, I can't even process it all the way. And I've been sitting on it for days now, week now, whatever. I just can't even talk about it. It's too heavy for me. I'll be honest with you, but I did want to just bring that up now because it is definitely what they would do. I feel like that's what these men are that's where they're willing to go because they don't like women to begin with, right? So, you know, having a baby, that's it. They'll do this and have a farm of women that they do this to. I'm talking about women because what if a woman says she wants to unalive herself? Right? They'll keep her alive, unalive her, you know, make her, now she's brain dead, but the body's working and impregnate her, and she's an incubator now. It's gonna happen. I mean, it's happening right now, but it's gonna become more common. It's gonna become more common if it already isn't somewhere in some dark ass fucking laboratory somewhere off site. You know what I mean? I hate to sound conspiracy theory, but I don't care. This is deplorable. It's disgusting, but you know, this is where we are. All because women are being mistreated by men and they're just choosing to, like the AI said, they're choosing love. The women are choosing love and the men are choosing hate. It doesn't really get more simple and more stark and more disgusting than that, to be honest with you. More obvious even. Or also, I should say, it doesn't get more obvious than that.